I love saying that I have a Chevy Impala because it sounds like I have a 6'4" and I'm cruising down the boulevard.
Mm-hmm. And then I failed, and then I cried. Mm-hmm.
Ask me if I still slow down the school zone.
Work the polls, the voting polls.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, no, don't do it. Oh, I thought you were gonna do the Star Trek thing, and I was like, Crystal, do not.
May the 4th.
Like, this is embarrassing. We still follow each other on social media because I went to school with him my entire life. What's up, spammers, and welcome back to another episode of the pod. We're your hosts, Nayla and Crystal, and I usually say it the other way around. I don't know why I said my name first this time, but
It always feels weird, doesn't it?
It does. It feels so weird, but you know what? It's okay because we're rusty. It has been 3 weeks since we recorded, and we didn't upload last week because I was too busy celebrating the end of Ramadan, and I had no time to edit. So
Party girl.
yeah, literally socializing a little too much and, in need of like a break. So I'm glad we're here today to do this little chill episode.
Yes, which is a good thing because I also am in need of a chill episode. I feel like it's been one of those ends of the month.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like this shift, we're going into a new month, but yet also like April, like it started off being a good month. And then like towards the end of April, it's just kind of like a little slump,
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel that
we
too.
just need a little chill episode that doesn't require like too much out of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be a fun one. Our first time tag.
Our first time tag. Yep.
First time tag. Not that our first time, just
No.
all of our first times.
just the first time tag in general, which Crystal found when she was doing some research for topics, and she found it through the channel Our Second Life, which I do have.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you wore it today.
I did. I just had to wear a shirt on top because I was cold.
Okay.
But yeah, so Our Second Life was a channel back in the day, and it was 6 humans who would post every single day. And so they did this tag. I was obsessed with them, and full circle because now we're doing it.
Yes. Look at us reliving our childhood dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I like used to watch people do these tags, like our first time tags or all the other tags that existed on YouTube at the time. And I remember I would always like want to do them.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems so fun.
You've done a what's in my bag. That was like one
I've
that like I would always be like, I want to do that,
Right?
Yeah.
Did you ever like just pretend like take out all your stuff when you're cleaning it? Just be like, hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. In my bag.
I have my phone. I have my wallet. Like, yeah, no, I definitely pretended just because, why not?
Yeah. It's like when you would, be doing your skincare in front of a mirror and you'd be like, all right, guys, welcome back. Today, I'm going to be doing my skincare routine. I'm going to be doing my makeup routine.
Mm-hmm.
Your only audience was you in the mirror.
Literally. You're just talking to yourself the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're talking to you guys. So
yeah. So let's go ahead and just get into it. You want to go ahead and drop the first question?
Yes.
Hit him with the first one.
So starting off, we have the first app you check when you wake up in the morning.
Ooh, my first app that I check in the morning is probably my mail app because I find that it really bugs me to have the little notification on my mail app, specifically my mail app. I don't know why. Every other app, it's like it's fine, but the mail app, like if it has a little red button on it, it just drives me crazy. So first thing I do is I go on there and I clear it. Like I make sure to check if I need to like actually read any email, and if not, then I'll go and I'll delete all of those emails, so that way there's no little red notification badge on there because I just don't like it. What about you?
Honestly, that's a good habit though, to like keep your inbox clean, because how many people have like over thousands of emails just in their inboxes because they never clean it?
Actually, the other day I deleted 3 years worth of my emails.
3 years?
On accident.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I was like one of those days. I don't know if you ever have a day where you just feel disconnected. It's like you're doing things, but you're not paying attention. So like I was on my mail app, I was watching Raven's Home, and I was distracted, you know? I thought I was in the spam folder, and I
Mhm.
kept hitting, like, edit, remove all I mean, delete all, move to trash, move to trash, move to trash, and it just kept going for a while, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird. Why is it kinda glitching?" Because it was,
It just kept coming
like,
back up.
removing a lot, and
Mhm.
it kept moving back up. I'm like, "Oh, this is weird." So then I was like, Then I went to the trash, and then I deleted everything again, like, permanently deleted everything, and then I went to my inbox, I'm like, "Well, let me see," because I had planned to sit down and, like, actually access my email on my laptop
Mhm.
and clear it out.
Mhm.
And so I don't know, I was just like, "Alright, let me check it out on my phone before I do that." And then I went to my inbox, completely empty, like, not a single email in there, and it was gone because I deleted it permanently from my trash. So I was like, "Fingers crossed there was no important information that I needed."
Hopefully, that was a good clean out.
I hope so. So far, nothing has come back to bite me, so fingers crossed,
Fingers
but
crossed, knock on wood, a couple
knock
months
on
from now, you
wood.
don't need anything.
Mhm, but it feels nice. Actually, it cleared up 10 gigabytes from my phone.
It does take up so much space. Like, my Gmail inbox is currently full, and so I'm out of
Mhm.
space, and now I've been also meaning to, like, go back and, like, delete, clean it out actually
Yeah.
fully.
I'll have to admit though, I didn't think it took up like that much space because you know how you can go to like the iPhone storage thing
Mhm,
on your phone and it tells you like what's using up what. And
mhm,
normally it was the iCloud that was taking up a lot of like memory. And I was like, what is on my iCloud? Because I don't put my photos on my iCloud.
mhm,
I only have my messages on my iCloud, but I delete my messages too because it builds up.
mhm.
And so I'm like, what is on there? And now that I deleted all of my emails, I realized that that's what it was.
That's crazy. I didn't realize how much it took up on iCloud either.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
it's nice. Now I have 10 free gigabytes, but it's I still keep my fingers crossed that nothing important is
Yes,
missing.
yes, everyone hope that she doesn't need anything.
Mhm. I'm telling myself that if I really need something, there's a way to find it, so
That's true.
no stress, just a
Mhm.
little sad to see all of those emails go away. I felt
But
like I was
also,
collecting them.
new start.
New start, fresh start, new
Yeah.
beginnings. We love them. What about you? What's your answer? What's the first app you check in the morning?
I still I messages, I guess?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it would be, messages and then Spotify.
Right, because you do your little dancey dance in the mornings.
Yeah, because I don't really go on my phone because my phone is far away from where I sleep. Like, I sleep all the way in the corner, my phone's on the other side of the room, so I only use my watch as an alarm.
You sleep with your watch on?
I do. I track my sleep.
Really? Is it not
Mhm.
uncomfortable? Sometimes I get scared. Well, I also have a phobia of, like, my wrists, so, yeah.
You do have a phobia of your wrist.
So I think that if I leave my watch on overnight, it's gonna, like, choke my wrist.
No.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, I was scared at first. It was weird at first, but I mean, I've had my watch now for 4 years, and I've been sleeping with it for 4 years, so
Oh,
yeah, kinda used to it at this
nice.
point. Feels weird
Nice.
without it.
Yeah, it's like a little safety blanket, but on your wrist.
Yeah, there are nights where I'm literally, like, about to go to sleep, like, I'm in bed ready to go to sleep, and, like, I would have put my watch on the charger just to charge it before, and I will
Mhm.
wake up and, like, freak out because I know, like, I don't have it on.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you sleep like, do you have it on all the time during the day too? Or is it like you only have it on towards the end of the day and then you sleep with it, you remove it in the morning?
Oh, I just remove it whenever it's dying and then charge it.
Okay.
'Cause I work from home, so I don't have to, like, worry about it. I think it would be different if I had to, like, go into that would
Mhm.
change things up.
Your life would be different.
Yeah, right now, I'm like, whenever it starts dying I usually charge it right before working out
Mhm.
because that's when I need it the most, but I didn't do that today.
Mm.
So, but yeah, messages and then Spotify so I could pick my music.
Mm. That's a good one. That's a good
Mhm.
one. Honestly, good for us for not going on social media though when we wake up.
Yeah. Well, I have downtime. I think we talked about it, but, like, I can't go on social media in the morning. My apps don't.
Mm.
They're like, "Time limit," and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, yeah, can't
right.
do that."
Right.
Mhm.
Can't relate. Okay, next one. First foreign country you ever visited? Mine was
Canada.
technically Mexico. Bordering.
I went north, you went south, we're good.
Yes. Tell us about yours.
I don't remember it. I was a baby.
Really?
I don't remember my first time out of the country.
Well, how old were you?
A baby. I don't know how little, but a
Oh,
baby.
really?
Hmm.
I thought you went like when you were a toddler to a wedding.
Yeah, but I don't remember it. I went many
Mhm.
times. We were going to Canada like almost every year when I was a baby.
Mm,
Hmm.
what? Wait, how would you guys drive there or airplane?
Both. We've done both.
How far of a drive is it from like like where you are
14
towards
hours,
Canada?
I think.
14.
14. But again, I was a baby.
Wow.
I don't remember.
True. You were just sleeping on the way there.
Hmm. Yeah, because we drove to like even the far middle part of Canada, which that one was like 18 hours.
Really? That's
Hmm.
it? To the
Yeah,
middle of Canada?
yeah, because it's 4 hours from the border. So
What?
yeah,
How small is Canada then?
I mean it's huge, but there's not many cities. So like middle is like
Oh,
the closest city to the middle of
gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense
Hmm.
then.
So
Okay.
we've both flown, both driven, but that was the first country.
So what's the first country you remember then?
Canada, but
Okay.
later on. I've only been to two, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
Just
Okay.
Canada and Fiji. So
Mm. How old were you the first time you visited Fiji?
7.
Ooh, you were little.
Hmm.
Do you remember
Everything.
that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That trip, like, engraved in my memory.
Oh.
Everything was so big and I was so
Mm-hmm.
tiny. So I didn't like, proportions. Everything was huge. And then I went back when I was 14 and I was like, wait, it's not that big.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually pretty small.
Even your aunts and uncles all looked so much taller. And then you
Hmm.
go back, like, once you're older and you're taller, and you're like, wow, all these people that I thought were like 6 foot, they're not that tall.
Not even just that, like houses too, You're
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like everything's so
Mm.
big. And then, mhm,
True. True, true. Yeah, because in Mexico, like, I remember being so little and we would, like, have to, like, jump really high and we couldn't reach my grandma's, like, the ceiling in her
mhm,
house. And then, like, I went back a couple years later as an adult, and only because, like, my grandma had passed away, so my uncle moved in, so I never really go into that house. But, I remember we went in for, like, whatever reason, and I literally, like, reached my hand up and I could touch the roof. And I'm like, "That's insane," because I used to think that this house was, like, so tall.
mhm. And for
But, yeah.
reference, Chris was already tiny.
Yeah. So, that's how small my grandma's house is. It's, like, pretty short. Like, I could, like, reach it like this.
What
But
about your first time?
Mexico, which I
Yeah.
don't really consider being like a foreign country because I've been to it like my entire life.
Mhm,
So it doesn't even feel like it's anything different. And I literally border Mexico. Like, I'm there within 30 minutes.
mhm.
So to me, it's never really felt like, you know, traveling. I feel like I'm just going
For the
over
next
to, like,
city.
yeah, the next
Mhm,
city, and like that's it. It doesn't feel like a different country. Although it does, but it doesn't. Like,
mhm,
the vibes in Mexico feel different as soon as you enter. But just, like, the thought of it, or, like, telling people, "Oh, I'm going to Mexico," people will be like, "What? You're going to Mexico?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's really, like, feels like it's down the street, you know?
mhm. Wh
So,
Do you have, like, an earliest memory from traveling there?
from from Mexico?
Mhm.
Yeah, my earliest memory I remember from going to Mexico, like, I ended up going to the hospital. It was Christmas time. It was Christmas
What?
time. I used to have a habit of swallowing gum, and, like,
No.
I ended up, like, I don't know what the terminology would be for it, but, like, I bloated.
Mhm.
And I had to go to the doctor, I mean, not the doctor, the hospital on Christmas Day. And I remember that they brought me gifts. So it was worth it.
You're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, the hospital's a fun place because I get gifts."
Yeah. That's the only time, knock on wood, that I've ever been in the hospital. It was for that.
Wow, first time in a hospital, also
Mhm.
hopefully last.
I have a picture of it too. I think it's on
Nice.
my phone. Oh, look, here it is. It's me and my grandpa.
Aw, looky little Crystal.
Yeah, that's my answer to that one. So we can move
Nice.
on to the next one.
Yes. So the next one is first Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook post.
Okay, my first Instagram post. Okay. Ew. Hold on a second.
While you look for
There's.
it, I can say my first Twitter post because on my Instagram, I don't remember. And Facebook, I don't really post on Facebook. People just tag me and stuff.
Mhm.
So my first Twitter post, I remember I made my Twitter and then I had I made it because a friend was like, "Can you make a Twitter so I can send you stuff?" And I
Mm.
was like, "Okay." So my first tweet was, "Here you go," and then I put his at there. So then he knew that I had a Twitter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mhm. Now you can send me things.
Honestly, I'm curious what my first Twitter post was, but I also don't know how far I would have to scroll.
Mhm.
Okay, my first Instagram post was a picture of like this connecting dots thing. I don't know. It was when like game apps were like popular. I feel like they're not as popular anymore, or there hasn't been a really popular one.
Mhm.
I think the last popular game I remember is that one where it was like a you had to like guess the word. It was like more recently.
Wordle?
Wordle, there we go.
I
Yeah.
still
That's
do
the
Wordle.
You still do Wordle? That's
Mhm.
the most recent game that I know people were like obsessed with.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Um
again, still doing it.
I did it for a while, but then I gave up on it. I don't think I
I
was ever really good at it.
Yeah, I did it and then I stopped, and then I started doing it
Mhm.
again this year, like literally beginning of this year.
Ooh.
But
It's a New York Times game,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, they bought it. It wasn't originally.
I found my first tweet, I think,
Oh.
unless I deleted like the rest of them. I put girls gotta be the Katie Heron to her own Aaron Samuels. Wait, I think I said that wrong though. Girls gotta be her own Aaron Samuels to her Katie Heron. From Mean Girls?
Oh, I was like, I don't know their last names.
Yeah, I don't know how I know that. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how I knew that in that moment.
Yeah.
I was probably watching Mean Girls.
Maybe. But you
That's
did
probably
flip
what it
it.
was. I
So good
did
job.
flip it. But yeah, that's what my first tweet is. All right. Next question is first makeup item. What's the first makeup item you remember?
Mine was mascara. It was
Mm.
the Maybelline one in the like it was one of the tinier tubes. It was like magenta purple and then the writing was in blue. I don't remember which one it was specifically, but it was
Mm,
very popular.
I don't think I remember that one. I remember I had the pink one with the green lid and it had like
Mhm.
the little
Yeah, that one
cone
was
shaped
also.
applicator.
Yeah.
I don't remember the one that you had. Or actually maybe I do. I think I do. It's like kind of coming back to me.
Yeah, I think it was something along the lines of like the falsies or like something, but I don't think it was the falsies.
Mm.
I don't remember, but it was like very popular and like I didn't know anything about
Mhm.
what I needed. So I was like, whatever works. Like I still don't know which mascara is best for me, but I just wear
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nyla will pop a picture up because I'm also curious.
Yeah, I will try and find it.
Okay. My first makeup item was a foundation that was way too light for me. It was a powdered one. It's by the brand Asepsia. It's a very popular brand in Mexico. And I feel like a lot of girls start off with that because it's supposed to be like a skincare makeup. So it's supposed to help with like breakouts or acne and stuff,
Mhm.
while like giving you coverage. But there's literally I think only like 4 shades, maybe three.
Mm,
And I remember I used to get the darkest shade and the darkest shade was still too light for me. So if it was too light for me, then it was definitely not enough coverage for a lot of other people too.
mm.
And so, yeah, I really hope that there are no pictures that exist of me during that time because I'm pretty sure I look like a ghost.
You're like erase all of that. That time didn't
Hmm.
exist.
Nope.
I found it. It was this one.
Oh yes, the falsies one. Oh,
The
okay,
falsies.
I remember
Yep.
that. Yeah,
Yep.
that one was a really popular one then.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I don't like wearing falsies. I'm not a big falsies person. But like
Hmm.
my lashes are very stick straight. Like
Hmm.
they don't curl.
Are they long though?
They're long,
Mm.
but they don't curl. So they're just like so
Have you
like
ever tried that trick that some girls do where you like light up the eyelash
yeah,
curler?
I've tried every trick. They don't stay. They're
Really?
just like but that was like any type of falsies mascara just works well because I have like naturally thick lashes.
That's
Mhm.
good. At least you found one that you like. Do you still use
Yeah,
that
I
one?
gotta go back to it. I have not,
Oh,
no. I use the L'Oreal Telescopic right now.
mm, that's another good one.
It's waterproof. Oh, waterproof mascaras help the curl
Hmm.
stay. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I also have, well, like, my eyes tear up.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, like, it comes off.
Yeah, so they start drooping because they get wet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does it ever happen to you that, like, when you wear waterproof mascara, though, that, like, it crumbles underneath the bottom of your eye?
Sometimes it depends on, like, what I'm doing, I guess.
Mhm.
If I'm not doing too much, like, activity, it's okay, but if I'm doing activity, it's crumbling.
Mm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I used to notice that, and I was like, "Why is that happening?" But I realized that it was, 1, the waterproof mascara, and 2, when they are I can't remember if it's oil-based or water-based. I think it's oil-based. When they're oil-based, it rubs off.
Yeah, that
I'm
would make
pretty
sense.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, too sure, but I think it's oil because, like, like, the oils on your skin.
Yeah, because if it's yeah, also if it's waterproof, it's usually oil-based too,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
water and oil don't mix.
True. There you
Mhm.
go. Yeah. So it's when it's oil-based, it causes that flakiness, and
Mm.
so I realized that.
Is that why you're not a mascara person?
Yeah, I don't really wear it that much. Also, like, I don't know, I'm just not a makeup person in
Mhm.
general, really. So, like, sometimes I will wear makeup and I forget mascara is the one thing that I always forget. Like, I skip it,
Mm.
not on purpose, but I forget it because I think I'm
Mm.
just not used to putting it on. And also because I have really small lashes. Like, they're small, they're thin, and so when I put mascara on, it doesn't really do anything to begin with.
Mm.
So it's like I don't really need it. But sometimes it just adds, the little, like, darkness to that
Yeah, like a
area,
little
so
bit of length.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, sometimes I'll add it, but nah, not really a huge mascara person. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright. Next one.
First time I ever got into trouble at home and school.
Ooh. Okay. Mm, First time I ever got into trouble at home. I mean, I don't think I remember, like, the
Yeah.
exact
I was like,
one.
there's probably so many that I just don't remember.
Yeah. I just remember I think there was one time when we were watching Family Guy secretly in our room, and we weren't
Mm.
allowed to.
Mhm.
And I think my sister was watching it, but, like, I was curious and I was, like, watching it too at the same time. And then my dad walks in, he, like, opens the door, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "She made me watch it. I wasn't watching it." That was the first time I got in trouble. I still got in
Mhm.
trouble, but, I try to save myself, and I was like, "It wasn't me."
Start crying, just victim.
Mhm. Waterworks.
Mhm.
Um, that was the first time I remember getting in trouble at home, and then the first time I remember getting in trouble at school was, we were doing, like, a test or maybe doing some homework or something, and then the teacher said that when we were finished, we could go play, and so we finished, and me and my friends, we went to go play, and we had this, like, little, section inside the classroom that was separated from the classroom. It was like a
Mhm.
little room, but there wasn't a door dividing it. It was just, like, half of a wall because
Mhm.
you could, like, enter through it, but then the other side was a wall, so you couldn't see it. So we were just playing in there, and the teacher comes in there, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" Again, oh my god, what is it with, like, people walking in on me and be like, "What are you guys doing?" We were just playing, like, jumping, and
Mhm.
then she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we were like, "You said we could come play. Like, you said that when we were finished, and we're finished." And she's like, "No, I didn't say that. Write your names on the board." And I remember I, like,
No, not the
bawled 'cause I was
board.
like, "My mom and dad are gonna be so mad."
My
And I was
name's
so
on the
upset.
board.
I was just, like, writing it, like, Crystal.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the first time I remember getting in trouble at school. Ever after that, like, I don't really get in trouble at school. I didn't get in trouble at school. I'm not in school anymore, but yeah, I was a good girl. But
Mhm. Yeah, first time again, I probably did a bunch of stuff as a kid that I just don't remember.
yeah. Mhm.
But there's one story where so, like, there's a tradition in, like I don't know if it's, like, from Fiji or from, like, India, I have no idea where this tradition originates, but when
Mhm.
someone gets married, you have a powder fight, like, just baby
Uh-huh.
powder, and, like, you just
Oh.
literally throw baby powder at each other.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like,
That's fun.
it's just a powder fight, and
Mhm.
so I, like, wanted to do it as a kid because I was like, "I wanna be in the powder fight," but I was too little, so, like, I couldn't be part of it, and so I came home, and I took my baby powder and sprayed it all over the floor.
Oh. So you just had, like, a little baby powder fight with yourself? Oh
in the room. I was
no.
just like, "Wee!" Like, spraying the little bottle in the air, and so it was
Uh-huh.
all over the carpet. Luckily, all you had to do was vacuum it, but my
Uh-huh.
my grandma found it, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Playing powder." And she reminds me of that story till this day. So,
That's funny. I have to know, was it in this house that you're in?
it was in this room.
No way.
Because this was my grandma's room before it was mine.
Oh, so you did it in your grandma's room, not
Yeah.
your room. Oh,
No, I did it in my grandma's room.
oh no. What made you want to go into your grandma's room? Did you like not want to mess up your own room?
Well, I didn't wanna do it in my parents' room
Mm-hmm.
because I knew I would be in big, big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma was a little nicer with me, so I was like, "Okay, she'll be fine." I didn't have it in my own room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was very little at that time, so I was still in my parents' room.
Oh, okay. That makes
Mhm.
sense then. I was like, what made you want to go into your grandma's room?
Yeah, it was, like, the easiest room to do it in.
That's funny.
Same thing with my first time getting in trouble in school. It was
Mm-hmm.
also a teacher walking in being like, "Well, what are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
I was in 3rd grade or no, was it 3rd or 4th? I was in, like, 4th grade, and we had a substitute teacher, and there were 2 kids in the back of the classroom, like, really messing around because we had a sink in the back of our classroom, so they were, like, playing with paper and, like, playing with the soap and, like, these 2, like, boys that were just so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And a teacher was passing by and, like, caught them and, like, was like, "What are you doing with them?" And, like, noticed that the classroom was kinda being a little bit rowdy and, like, mean to the substitute. And
Mm-hmm.
so I got up to throw away trash, and then she accused me of passing a note, which did not happen. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
she even, like, saw this note passing. And then she took me and those 2 boys and put us into detention.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Did she end up telling your parents?
No, I admitted. I told my dad, I was like, "Oh, I'm late," because I ended up, like, having to go stay after a little bit, and then I was late
Mhm.
to, like, meeting my dad, and I was like, "I got in trouble for no reason."
Did he believe you?
Yeah, because I had never
Oh,
gotten
that's
in
good.
trouble at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've only gotten in trouble in school twice. So that was the first time, and then the second time was my senior year of high school. I had never no detention in high school, nothing bad, like, really, really good student,
Mhm.
and I accidentally said the F word, like, out loud in front of my vice principal.
Oh. Oh no, your vice principal?
Mhm, and she looked at me, and, like, it was a small school, so we all knew each other, and she looked at me and
Mhm.
she was like, "Nyla," and I was like, "I'm so sorry," and she was like, "You know I have to give you a detention, right?" And I was like, "First and only." It was, like, the end of the year too, like, this was senioritis, like,
Mhm.
we were done, like,
After
and
you
so
drop the F bomb and she tells you that, you're like, "F it, let's go."
yeah,
Again.
I was just like, "Look," yeah, and then I went and I didn't even it wasn't even a real detention, like, you just need to
Mhm.
go after school to a teacher for 30 minutes, and, like,
Mm.
I was cool with all my teachers, so I literally just went to go hang out. I was like, "Oh, can you sign this?" And then my teacher was like, "Wait, you were serving a detention?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's
Mhm.
why I was here."
He's like, "So you weren't here to hang out?"
Yo, literally.
That's funny.
So, yeah, the only times I've gotten in trouble at school.
It's a good way to end your school career.
Mhm,
Your what is the first half of school called? Is it primary school is elementary school, right?
mhm. Secondary?
Secondary school?
Mhm.
I think so. That sounds
Yeah.
right. All right. Next one. First YouTuber you subscribed to. Do you remember the first YouTuber you subscribed to?
Yes.
Who?
Smosh,
Oh, right. Right. Of
which is
course.
funny because full circle, have a poster of them on my wall.
Oh, no way. Is that new or have you had that for like a long time?
I've had it since 2020, so 3 years.
Oh,
But
you're
yeah.
a true fan.
Yeah, they were whenever I made my YouTube account,
Mhm.
like, they were definitely the first because they were, like, the first channel I watched.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Were they like one of the first channels you like came across on YouTube, or did you have like a journey before you got to them and then they were like the first like YouTube channel that you like really loved and you subscribed to?
No, I think they were one of the first channels I came across.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember anything like, I don't even remember how I found them at
Do you
all.
remember? Do you remember how you like found out about YouTube or like how you got onto YouTube? I was curious, like how
I
did people
don't.
find YouTube? You don't?
I don't remember at all. But I was 7 when I made my first Gmail account.
Mm.
So 2 years after that, Smosh was a channel. So I was like, at least I was on the internet. So I knew there was something going. Probably maybe through like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, maybe one of them
Mhm.
once said like, "Oh, check us out on YouTube. Like check out extra
Mm.
videos on YouTube or something." I don't know. I'm like
No.
trying to think of it, but maybe like an older cousin, but
Mm.
I have no recollection. Like I just know that Smosh was definitely like up there. I think they
Yeah.
had to be the first.
That makes sense.
Do you remember?
I don't remember like the exact time. I have like these two moments that I don't know which one came first.
Mhm.
So I think I know which one came first. So I think I heard about YouTube during the Fred era. I
Mm.
wasn't into Fred, but I remember like it was the big thing. Like whenever people were on MySpace, I think Fred was pretty popular on MySpace, but I'm not too sure. I just remember like MySpace and YouTube around the same time.
Mhm.
Also didn't have MySpace. My sister had MySpace for like a split second, only because my dad didn't know, and later on he ended up finding out, so we had to like she had to delete her MySpace.
No, no, RIP.
But I know, right? Uh, but I remember it was like during that Fred era. I think that's when I found out about YouTube. But I didn't start getting into YouTube, or at least I don't remember getting into YouTube until like oh my god, it just came back to me. I think Fred era was the same time when people started making covers to like Justin Bieber's Baby and like
Mm.
all of those popular songs at the time, and people used
Mhm.
to do like the crazy edits. They used to do music videos and stuff. I think that's when I like first started getting into YouTube. And then after that, I kind of started moving into like um hairstyle stuff because I think
Mhm.
that was during high school. I was like, oh, I need to figure out how to do my hair for high school. So I like started getting into like the beauty guru community before
Mhm.
the beauty guru community got toxic.
Yeah, we're talking about like Ingrid Nielsen. She was one of the
Yeah.
first for me also. Mhm.
It was when people used to go to BeautyCon, when
Mhm.
BeautyCon was a thing. I don't know if BeautyCon is still a thing, but
I have no idea, yeah.
yeah, it was during that era. That was like the best era. I miss
Mhm.
those times of YouTube.
So do you have a channel that you remember?
Not specifically,
Mhm.
because I used to think that if I subscribed, my dad was gonna get charged.
Mhm.
And so I used to have a little notebook where I would like write all of the channels down. I literally had like I think 70 plus channels like written down, and I would go in and type them in every single day and like check if they posted a new video. Like I would just move my way down the list.
Mhm.
And so it was like I think a whole year before I realized that subscribing was free,
Mhm.
which subscribe, it's free. And then I
Great
started to
segue.
subscribe to people, right?
Mhm.
But I don't remember who was like the first person I subscribed to.
Mm.
But one of my favorite channels at that time was Ingrid Nilsson, or when she was Miss Glamorazzi. I used to love her
Mhm.
Vlogmas videos.
I literally a couple days ago, yeah,
Mhm.
Saturday, I was like, there's this one video she made, um, not too long ago, actually, probably now, it was probably 10 years ago, but,
Uh-huh.
there's a packing video that she did,
Mhm.
and I'm like a very type A, like, pant planner. Like,
Uh-huh.
I list out every single item that I need to pack, so I make sure, like, I don't miss anything,
Mhm.
and for years and years, I would specifically go back to Ingrid's video to find like,
Really?
to make my list, yeah, because, like, she was just so thorough with her packing and everything. I was like,
Mhm.
"This is the list." Like, I don't even doesn't matter where I'm going. This
Mhm.
video is, like, my source to find my list.
Oh, so you would just go back and rewatch it.
Mhm.
That was like your version of ASMR.
Yeah. Packing
That's
videos are
funny.
really my version of ASMR.
That's funny. At least
Mhm.
you have that, you know?
Mhm.
What brings you peace?
Yes.
Okay. Next question is, what is the first time you went shopping on your own? Do you remember that?
I don't, but it
Okay.
was probably college.
College time?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can't remember. First time I ever went shopping by myself. Actually, it was probably the same time because that's when I got my driver's license.
Mhm.
So if I went shopping by myself, it had to have been when I had my driver's license.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like, when I had my own car, when I had my own, like, license, when I didn't have to go with people. Like, I couldn't go
At
shopping
what
alone in
age
high
did you get your
school.
license?
17. Fun story, I got my permit, and you know how your permit expires in exactly a year? So I got my permit
Mm-hmm.
at 16, and then my
Uh-huh.
parents didn't wanna teach me how to drive. So I was just like, "I need to learn. I need to learn how to drive before my permit expires." I took my license test the day before my permit expired. So if I failed my license
Really?
test, I would have had to retake my permit test. So
Oh
I pulled
no.
through and I got my license. But yeah, I was 17. It was end of senior year.
Mhm. I
Mhm.
wonder if that's still the same way now, because I swear that that's how it used to like be, but I think now that they're not as strict. Like you still
Really? No
have like I think
wonder.
there's maybe like a grace period,
Mhm.
like after your permit expires that you have to like take your test.
Mm. No, they
Or
were really
actually
strict back then.
unless like if you're over 18.
Yeah, over
Maybe
18,
that's
I think
what's
it's a
going
grace
on.
period because you don't have to take a permit test,
Okay.
or you have to take the written
Hmm.
test, but not the, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, is your permit test like a driving test?
No, 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 I meant, like, you know how you have to complete driver's ed online when you're
Mm.
under a certain age?
No, not here. Not in the state of Arizona.
What? You guys don't have to do
No.
driver's ed?
No. You just go take your permit.
I'm never driving in Arizona. You guys don't have to take driver's ed. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, we don't have to take driver's ed, which I'm actually happy about because I didn't have to take the classes. But also like my friend in New York, like they have to
Mhm.
do the most before they can even get like their permit and their license. I'm like, I'm grateful for Arizona's driving
Yeah.
um like protocol, I guess, license protocol.
Mhm.
But also it is kind of scary if you think about it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there on the road. But it's fine. It's fine, you know?
Yeah, because here, if you're under 18, at
Mm-hmm.
15 and a half, you can do driver's ed online, and then you have to do community hours like driving. And then once you get those 2
Mm.
things checked off, then you can go take your written test.
Oh, we don't have to do any of that.
That's
You just
crazy. So you just
study.
study on your own?
You just study and then you go. I think that there's an option.
Oh,
There's an
okay.
option like if you want to do it, but you don't have to do it. Like it's not required,
Mhm.
but there is like I think a class you could take, but that's even if they offer it, because I honestly
Mm.
don't know. But yeah, I just took a permit test and then took the driver's test. Failed
That's
my driver's test
insane.
3 times. Twice,
Oof.
2 times. And honestly, it's only because of the stupid school zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I couldn't for some reason like slow my car down before I got into the school zone. I like
Mm.
slowed it down as soon as I got into the school zone, and they filmed me twice because of that.
Mhm.
Ask me if I still slow down the school zone. So
Speed.
yes, I do. Not always though. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't always go perfectly 15, but that's what
Mhm.
they expected of me. And I was like,
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah. Even in California, if you go over, like, speed limit,
Hmm.
automatic fail.
Hmm.
So, I
Really?
I drove the entire thing slower than I should have, and they can't fail you for driving slow.
Really?
Mhm, I was under speed limit like, 5 under speed limit the entire time. I thought I failed. They brought me back, so the test is supposed
What?
to be, like, 30 minutes, and they brought me back
Hmm.
in 15, and I was like, I looked at the time, I was like, "I failed." Like, I literally like, "There's no way." Like, and then I come back and I see my
Hmm.
dad, and my dad's looking at me, and I'm like, "He thinks I failed." Like, I failed. And then we park, and the guy's like, "I couldn't fail you because you drove slow. Other than that, you're fine. Congratulations." And I was like, "Oh, I got my license." And I walk out the car, and my dad's like, "What happened?" Like, he's mad, and I was like,
Hmm.
No, 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 we're good. I got it."
That's
I failed
funny.
the written.
Hmm.
Even despite all the
Did
driver's
you?
ed and all that, I still failed the written.
I was surprised I passed that one,
The written's
but
not easy.
what's the right one? I don't know how I passed it. And it like I don't know how your guys' test is because it's not actually written. It's like
No.
computer.
Mhm.
But it's called the written test. I guess because it used to be the written test, but every time you would answer, it would like either pop up like correct or
Mhm.
wrong. And so it was like stressful because you would like put the answer and you would like pray and hope and cross your fingers and like promise your firstborn child that you
Mhm.
get this answer correct.
Yeah, and
So it was quite scary.
yeah, I remember because when the wrong would pop up, you only at least here, we only get 6 you can only get 6 wrong, up to 6, and once you get the 6th
Mm-hmm.
one, like, wrong, you're done, and, like, they tell
Mm-hmm.
you, like, what question you're on and everything, and I had gotten 5 wrong,
Mm-hmm.
so I was, like, stressing because I was, like, 1 more wrong and I'd fail. I was literally at the end, I only had 2 questions left, and then some stupid question about, like, the railroad or the deer crossing came up, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't and then I failed, and then I cried, and then I had to take the permanent
Oh no.
test again, but
It happens. It happens. I
Mhm,
also cried when I failed my driver's license twice.
mhm, and
It's
this
just sad because
goes
you build it up.
yes. I was gonna say this goes perfectly into our next question, actually.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, which is what was your first car?
My first car is technically not what I consider my first car. My first
Mhm,
car was one that I shared with my sister. It's the same one I have right now, but it was a gray one,
mm,
which is a Chevrolet Impala. And I got this one like after I graduated from college, and it's still a Chevrolet Impala, but it's a white one now.
mhm,
But that's my Carlitos. So that's
yeah.
what I consider my first car.
Did you ever watch Supernatural?
No, I did not.
They drive an Impala in that.
Oh, do they?
Mhm,
I love saying that I have a Chevy Impala because it sounds like I have a 6'4" and I'm like cruising down the boulevard.
mhm.
And then
'Cause
they
it's a
walk out and
Chevy.
it's my little Chevrolet Impala.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
What was your
My
first car?
first car was also technically my mom's old car. It was a
Mm-hmm.
Nissan Maxima. It was gray. It
Mm-hmm.
looked pretty much exactly like my car now, but it was just a Nissan. But
Mm-hmm.
then I don't count that because it was, like, my mom's car. Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, and so, yeah, we shared it too. But, my first car is my current car, which is a Honda Civic, and he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a real name, but I just call him the Falcon because the Millennium Falcon, which it's May 1st. This episode goes up on May 3rd. Tomorrow's May the 4th. So,
May the 4th be with you.
yeah, no, don't do it. Oh, I thought you were gonna do the Star Trek thing, and I was like,
Nice.
"Crystal, Crystal, do not."
May the 4th. I
Great
said,
job.
May the 4th be with you.
But yes, so I call my car the Falcon.
That's a good name.
Mhm,
That's cool. I'm pulling up in the Falcon.
mhm.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Okay,
Mm.
so technically Logan Lerman is I would say
Mm-hmm.
first, but I started watching Bollywood movies before I watched American movies, so I'm pretty sure there's
Ooh.
probably some Bollywood actor who I had a crush on way
Ooh.
before. Like, I don't even know which one, but there's definitely, like, a Bollywood actor in there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I gotta know who this Bollywood actor is.
There were a couple. There were a lot,
Oh,
like
are we surprised?
yeah. Are we? Yeah, there were definitely a couple of them, but I always say Logan Lerman just because he's been here the longest. It was the movie Who
Hmm.
back in 2006 that first introduced me to him, and then he was in Percy Jackson in 2011, 2010, and then, yeah, he's been there ever since.
He was your OG.
Mhm.
Hmm. I don't know if I remember like my first actual crush, like celebrity crush. Um, it would probably have to be like I'm thinking like Jesse McCartney. I thought he was really
Mm.
cute. Um, but I don't know if like he was like my first, you know.
Mhm.
Also, I had a huge crush on Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm sensing a
Who
trend here.
else? Yeah, like young Zac Efron,
Mhm. The
the
Sprouse
Sprouse
Twins, yeah.
twins. Yeah, probably just anyone from Disney Channel, to be honest. I think that would be like the safe bet,
Mhm.
but I don't remember exactly.
Going off of crushes.
Oh.
Well, your
Ugh.
first ever crush.
I don't know if I want to share my first ever crush. My first ever crush was Christopher. His name was
That's it.
Christopher. It was in
End of
kindergarten.
story.
End of story. I don't know who this man is anymore. But that was the name of my first crush. And I remember I used to think it was cute because it's like Crystal and Christopher. But yeah, that
Christopher's a good
was
name.
him. What about you?
It's a common name, but it's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
I forget about him all the time.
Who
Um,
was your first crush?
like this is embarrassing. We still follow each other on social media because I went to school with him my entire life. So,
T.
yeah,
T.
I was in first grade. He was older than me.
What if he listens to this?
He- I feel like he would know. That's why I'm not going to say his name. Nope, not happening. But
You're,
I was in first grade and he was in second.
you're like, I'm not confirming it.
Yeah, not confirming a name. Still follows me on Instagram. That's all I am saying. Next question.
She loves the older men. All right. Next question is my first ever cell phone. What was your first ever cell phone?
I'm spoiled because I was,
iPhone.
yeah, I was also old. I was 16 when I got my first phone,
Mm,
and it was an iPhone 6, which was the newest phone at the time.
wait, so you didn't have a phone for like a long time?
I didn't have a phone, yeah, but I had an iPod Touch.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
like that functioned as a phone if you had Wi-Fi. So like it
Mm-hmm.
technically I would even say that would be like my first phone, but
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't like call or like I needed Wi-Fi. So
Mm-hmm. Was she rich? She said I had an iPod touch. That was lit.
no, the story of how I got that iPod Touch is actually like I think I've mentioned it. It was the first and only subscribe. Um it was the first and only Black Friday experience that I had where we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving and I
Mm.
cried. And then my parents were like, okay, we
All
can go to
right.
Target. And then it was on sale.
Mm. So you got a good deal on it.
Yeah. So not rich, but yeah, first phone rich. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
I made a presentation and like presented the reasons why I wanted the iPhone 6.
You're like, I worked hard for this.
Hmm.
My first phone was the complete opposite of your phone. It
Hmm.
was a Nokia brick phone.
The
It was the
actual
little
like
ones that you
brick.
no. It was like I
Oh.
call it a brick phone, but it
Hmm.
was like the slimmer version of it, like the small slim version.
Hmm.
And I remember I had the little worm game on it and
Snake.
we got it at the gas station. Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
It
back
was when
when
you could like
phones.
buy phones at the gas
Hmm.
station. And we used to have so it was like that one, the Nokia one was like the first one. I think I was in fourth grade. My dad has always like had us on technology since we were
Hmm.
little. So we had it pretty young. I almost want to say third grade, but I kind of or I even want to say second grade, but I feel like that's young. But I don't know. It was around that time.
Well, like
Second to
eight,
fourth
9 years
grade,
old.
around there. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so we had those just for like safety reasons. Like if we ever needed it, like we could only ever call our parents. Like we couldn't
Hmm.
really call other people. And then I think eventually we were able to call our cousins.
Mm.
Hmm. But that was when we started moving over to like Virgin Mobile. I don't know if you remember Virgin Mobile.
I
That was like
do
a really
remember
big
that.
network.
Hmm.
We used to have that. I remember I had like little flip phone with them. Like those were cool. And then I had like a little like what are they called?
The
The
like sidekick, the like flip, not
sidekick
sidekick, but
ones.
like the flip up
Hmm.
ones. Hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't the actual sidekick one, but it was like that one. And then one year I did have the one that like the screen twist.
You had the full twisting one. That one was so cool.
Yeah.
I remember wanting that one like as a kid, but like I didn't have a phone.
Hmm. Yeah, those were cool. Like there was also one where like it stood parallel and you could turn the screen like horizontal. So
Oh
like it
yeah.
was like a T.
Hmm.
Those were cool. and you could surf the web on them, but it was like so hard to surf the web. Like you,
because
I
it was so
remember like
slow.
yeah, we would like look up Google, and then like it was like a really small screen, so you had to like move the arrows over to like get to the search bar, and then you would
Mhm,
like type it in, and you would put like enter, and then you have to like move it over back to the like where you could actually see the searches.
mhm.
It was a fun time. I miss life back then.
So much simpler.
Right? And you
Flappy
would
Bird.
text people. Oh my gosh, did you never experience the having to like push the same button like 5 times just to get one letter, and then you would pass the letter and you would have to like go back to
I
it?
did only because I used to help my mom text and she had
Oh,
a
okay.
flip phone.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I did experience it, but like I never had to personally go through that myself,
Mhm.
like texting people that otherwise that would have been a struggle. Like I don't know how you guys did it, but
Yeah. I only had to experience it for a little bit because I mean, I wasn't allowed to text people for a while.
mhm,
And then once I was like able to start texting friends and stuff, they came out with the keyboards that had like all of the letters on it.
mhm,
And so those were like easier. But I remember I had like a cousin, she would like type, 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 like she only had like the little buttons with the numbers and the letters, and she would be like,
mhm.
like fast. I'm like, girl, how do you do this?
Skill. Do you remember
Mhm.
back when iPhones were so small that you like couldn't text like this, but you would have to flip it this way and then text? Like I used to text like this on my
No.
iPod. I
Really?
would never text
No.
normally. Like I was a sideways texter on my iPod because it was
You're
like
like,
it was wider, so I didn't have to like my thick
mhm.
thumbs liked it because the iPod's tiny.
My first iPhone was the iPhone 5. So I
The
think
five was
this
nice.
yeah, I think it was like not as small, but it was like a
Hmm.
little bit bigger because I don't remember like struggling too much with the keys.
Yeah, the five was like slimmer, I think,
Mhm.
but not because the six was like the big one.
Yeah, that was like the first one where I think they had the plus.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good times, man. We lived through those changes.
The next one is your first fear.
First fear. My first fear is in last week's 2 weeks ago's episode.
Last
The
episode.
one about being afraid to be a woman,
Hmm.
and it was being kidnapped.
Yeah,
What about you?
that was a big fear early on. I had that fear too, but I think it's funny because mine was I was scared of the dark,
Mhm.
but also like if you've like listened to any other episode, you know that my house is literally completely dark. And so
Mm,
because I was scared of the dark and my house was completely dark, I would go to sleep really easily because I'd be so scared that I would just close my eyes and like be like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
you're like, this is not real. The darkness
Hmm.
does not exist. I
Hmm.
I control the darkness.
Cause like yeah, no, seriously, because like when you open your eyes, it's dark. So like at least when I'm closing my eyes, I know that I'm making it dark.
Like I'm in control.
Hmm.
That's a good way to look at it.
Hmm.
Face your fear. Are you still afraid of the dark now?
No,
Oh, okay.
just as a kid.
But are you not afraid of your dark, like your house dark? Are you afraid of other people's houses being dark or like other places being dark?
I like to think my eyes have adjusted so well that I can see
Mm,
pretty well in the dark.
you have night vision.
Kind of, yeah. Like I've just adapted because I've been in the
Hmm.
dark for so long.
That's probably true. I feel like it does
Yeah.
happen.
There were times where I would have to walk home from class in college in the dark. And so like I was never like I was scared of the surrounding area. I was scared of people, but I was never scared of like the darkness.
Mm. Walking on campus at nighttime is like scary, but also so cool.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit of both.
Hmm. All right. Next one. What was, oh, who was your first friend in college?
Mine was my roommate,
Mm.
one of my roommates. I had two, and one of them I ended up getting really close to first night. Like we just bonded, and then we
Hmm.
became really good friends.
Nice. Do you still
Hmm.
talk to her now?
No,
Oh,
no, but we follow each other. Like we're mutuals.
oh,
No
that's
hard
good.
feelings. Like nothing bad happened. Like we just,
Drifted.
yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I feel like that
Hmm.
happens a lot with like college friends.
Yeah,
Like,
and also like the pandemic.
right.
Hmm.
Were you guys close then, like, prior to the pandemic hitting? Like, you guys close all I mean, blah, 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 close all
Subscribe.
the way up to the pandemic?
No, we started drifting away already, but,
Okay.
like, because of the pandemic, we didn't see each other at all.
Mm,
Mhm,
makes sense. I honestly don't remember my first friend in college because I went into college already knowing people.
mhm,
I know like, met people in my classrooms, but would I consider them friends? Not really. I'd consider
mhm.
them acquaintances. But yeah, I don't remember, like, the first friend I made. That wasn't already of someone I knew or, like, that someone knew, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't really know who my first friend in college was.
Nice. Next one is your first job.
My first job. My first job was at college.
Mhm,
It was being a receptionist, like, at the front of the dorms, you know, like, when you walk in and you, like, borrow supplies, you check in with them, check out.
mhm.
That's what I did. It wasn't that great of a pay, but that's what I did.
So, like, how many hours would you work?
At first, I started out maybe getting, like, a goodish amount of hours because it's work study, so they're not gonna give you, like, a lot of hours.
Mhm.
I don't remember specifically, like, how much it was, but I know that towards the end, I was literally only working, like, 2 hours,
Oh,
and
so
we
you
would get
were
paid every 2 weeks.
oh my
Yeah,
what's the point?
I know. That's when I quit, and then I went to JCPenney, so that was my first, like, real outside job that I would consider,
Mm,
like, my first job, but
yeah.
technically, school was my first job.
Work study.
What about yours?
My first job was the 2016 election,
Mm.
where our school offered us to take a day out of school and go work the polls. Haha, work the
Mhm.
polls, the voting polls. Um,
Whoa.
but yeah, I worked the polls, but so basically it was like a 14, not even, I think it was like a 16-hour day because we were there from like 4 in the morning until like almost midnight. It was the year Trump got elected though, so it was like the worst day of my life. But when that paycheck came in, I was pretty excited. And I got to skip school. So,
Nice. And you
mhm.
did your part.
Yeah, because I couldn't vote. So I that's one of the main reasons I actually went to do it because I was like such a big advocate of like people should go and vote, which speaking
Mhm.
of, if you want to check if you're registered to vote, you probably should because the election the next year it's coming up. So
Where does time go?
yeah, start researching now because you want to know what's going on in your
Mhm.
counties and stuff. So yeah, I'm a big advocate on voting, exercising that right. So that was my way of exercising it back then since I couldn't legally vote.
Nice, 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 nice. I could vote at that time, and I also voted against Trump.
Thank
Did
you.
not want him to win. And I also advocated for my coworkers to go vote. I was like, hey, have you voted? Have you voted? And a
Hmm.
lot of them weren't really, like, as into it, but they would talk a lot of crap. And I'm like, if you're not going to vote, then you can't say anything.
That's literally my belief. Like it's not that hard to
Hmm.
go and vote. I remember I asked all my cousins because they were all older than me and I was like, "Oh, like did you guys vote?" And they all told me like, "Yeah, we did." And then a couple months later they were like, "We lied." And I was like, "Why? Why would you tell me that you lied?" They
Hmm.
were like, "It hurts. Like we didn't want to lie to you anymore." And I was like, "You could have just been honest with me from the start."
Yeah. Man, there were so many people that, like, would say so much and they didn't get up to go vote. Like, I
Yeah.
remember that was a very passionate election time. People
Next year's
weren't
going to
like,
be just as bad.
yeah, let's not think about that.
I I wasn't trying to think about it, and then my uncle brought it up last weekend, and so now it's been on my mind.
Oh, that's gonna be a scary time.
Mhm,
All right, let's move on.
mhm.
What was my first language? My first language was Spanish, and that's why I stutter.
I think my first language was also Hindi
Mm-hmm.
because I don't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hindi, but I learned
Mm-hmm.
English pretty quickly after that. Like I learned them around the same time. I was learning both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I, like, started learning English probably, like, once I was, like, gonna start going into elementary
Kindergarten.
school, like, I think
Mhm.
more consistently because I mean my mom speaks Spanish and she'd be with us like 24/7. So it's not like I'm gonna be like a little baby and being like, "Mom," studying her in
Mhm.
Spanish. So yeah, I didn't start learning until I got into like kindergarten, but I picked it up pretty fast. But now my brain can't like I could switch between the two, but like it gets stuck between the two. And like sometimes I know one thing in one language and not in the other language. And so like I
Mhm.
can't like process it and like my brain slows down. So yeah, it's a struggle in there.
Yeah. No, same here. I had my grandma growing up and she only spoke Hindi. So that's how I know
Mm,
that Hindi was my first language. And then to this day, my mom primarily speaks Hindi, but
mm-hmm.
my dad speaks English. So I primarily
Oh.
speak English, but I can understand Hindi fully. I struggle with words. Like there are certain words in Hindi that I just don't know. So I'll just say it in
Mhm.
English.
That makes sense. I
Mhm.
have to know. So when your mom and dad are talking to each other, does your mom speak in Hindi and then your dad speaks in English and they're like communicating that way?
Yes.
I love when people do that.
Like the entire time. And I wasn't something I noticed until recently in my life too. I was like, wait a minute. You're not speaking the same language.
Yeah, but it's
Mhm.
so cool. It feels like a superpower to be able to like understand both of them.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but sometimes if I'm in public and I hear people speaking in Hindi and like I understand what they're saying, I like start laughing to myself because I'm like, they probably have no idea that I'm standing here and like understanding everything
That
they're
I understand.
saying. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, like you can hear other people like in the other aisle just like speaking another language that you also speak, and you're like, like I know what's going on. It feels like a
it
superpower.
really does. Yeah. Knowing different languages definitely a superpower.
hmm
First piercing and when did you get it?
When I was little, I'm Mexican and it's tradition for babies to get their ear pierced when they're little, and it's like a big little celebration.
Hmm.
I remember when my sister Ceci got her ears pierced, we had like a carne asada, and then like all the moms rushed in to like go and get her ears pierced, and then
Hmm.
she started crying, and because I wasn't the center of attention, I was like, why is this baby crying?
Should I start crying?
Yeah, maybe I'll start crying. Pierce my other ear.
You're like, I
Yeah.
want a second one.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's definitely something that is done like when you're little.
Hmm.
Because they say it hurts less. Or I mean I'm pretty sure it hurts the same, but like when you're little, you have I think no recollection of the pain.
Hmm.
Or I don't know. It just I
Healing
don't know.
also.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like my ear holes don't close. Like
Yeah.
I've gone years without wearing earrings and they're still there.
Yeah. Same thing. I was also a baby and I also don't remember
Mhm.
it because it's also tradition for us to get our ears pierced when we're very young.
Mhm.
Um, I have more piercings though. So first one that I do remember was when I got my nose pierced. I was 16, so I had to get my mom to sign off on it. And I randomly asked her one day, I was like, "Can I get my nose pierced?" And she was like, "This is the first time you've ever made like a decision like this?" Yes, and she signed it immediately. So I went and got it
Yes.
done. Yeah, and it's like culturally like acceptable. It's not like a
Mhm.
wild piercing. So, but
Mhm.
now I have two.
Where yes. Which is cool. Did you get them separate then? They weren't at the same
Yeah,
time?
I got one
Oh.
when I was 16, and then I got the second one 2 years ago.
Mm. You're collecting them like infinity stones. I actually
Just
have
about to
this.
have all six. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Where did you get them pierced? Did you go to Claire's? Did you go to like a
No.
nice place?
I went to a tattoo shop.
Oh,
Yeah. My
nice.
cousin had her nose pierced at the same tattoo shop, and so she told me to go there.
hmm Okay, and then the last question that we're going to answer is my first YouTube video, which I feel like kind of brings it around because
It
we're on
does.
YouTube right now. Well,
Yeah.
actually, we're also on Spotify and we're also on Google Podcasts. But let's share our first YouTube videos because
Yes.
actually this brings it around because the tag was started on YouTube.
It
There we go.
does.
There we
This
go.
is like
Full circle
all
moment.
encompassing. Yep.
Okay, what was your first YouTube video?
So it's currently it's unlisted. It's privated,
Mm-hmm.
but it was I think it was like a 1 minute video called My First Vlog, and it's literally just me and my friends in a recreational lounge in college talking about it being my first vlog. And it's not edited. It's literally just a 1 minute clip that we just uploaded within that same moment. And that was my first ever video, but it's nowhere to be found.
You're like, no one's gonna see this. I have
Mhm.
to know, how did it lead up to that? Like, were you guys talking about like YouTube? Were you like, guys, I want to start a YouTube channel? And they're like, do it, and then you just like pulled out your camera.
I never said it. I mean, like,
Mhm,
secretly, I always wanted to, but, like, I was
mhm,
too, insecure and scared and anxious to do it, but there was one of the girls in the group, she did make a YouTube channel, and, like, she was doing YouTube at that point consistently, and she
mhm,
doesn't do it anymore, otherwise I would link her down below, but Somia, if you're listening, shout out, and
mhm,
she's, like, TikTok. She does a lot of TikTok stuff, but
mm,
so she was doing YouTube, and then they were all like, "Nyla, you would be so good at it." And I was like,
mhm.
"Okay, fine, I guess I'll try." And, back then I was, like, really
I
into
guess.
editing small videos, which, like, I'm trying to bring back the reels now, but,
Mhm,
I would edit, like, small videos of trips I took, and so that's how that, like, kinda started. And then they were like, "You should just
mm,
do it." And then after that, I made 2 videos, and then I started bullet journaling, and then that was it.
mm.
Mhm.
Wait, was it, like, right after each other? Like, you did those vlogs and then you did the bullet journaling videos, or was it, like was there time in between?
There was a year and a half in between. I started the bullet journal videos during COVID.
Okay.
Also, again, I was never planning on it, and one of my friends was like, "You should try making YouTube videos for it," and I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it if you help me because I can't do it by myself." Like, I was like, editing, I have to draw, I have to edit, I have to find music, I have to do a voiceover, like, "You gotta help me," and then he was like, "Okay, fine, I'll edit for you if you do the rest,"
Mhm.
and I was like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Nice.
Mhm. What was your first
A little
YouTube video?
journey. My first YouTube video was a get to know me tag, which was
Ooh.
another tag that was like very popular. But I didn't actually enter. I think actually I haven't gone back to see it. That video gives me major cringe. It is privated, not
Mhm.
unlisted, privated. I didn't want no one to watch it. I think I even deleted it. I think I have it saved
You're,
on my
like,
hard
fully
drive.
gone.
Um, yeah, I'm like, nope, no one's hacking me and like posting these
Mhm.
videos. So like I have them saved on my hard drive, but um I think that was my first video. I think I posted it my second semester of college because I was no longer living in the dorms. And
Mm.
like I was just like I wanted to post and I was so embarrassed about it, but I was taking film and television production classes and like a lot of the people in those classes also talked about having YouTube channels and I was like if they have YouTube channels like I can have a YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And so then that's when I like kind of pushed it, but I didn't really tell anyone. It was like hush hush, secret, only my family knew about it. And that was my first video. After that it was a couple of random videos. Also now privated, but like my first public video, I think is like a short people's problem, which was like a
Nice.
skit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
That's my first video.
skits.
Yeah. Back then I
You've
used to
also
do
come a long
some
way.
yeah, I have a lot of videos. I have like 290 videos
Holy.
right now. Or plus. Cause that's the amount that is on my playlist for like all videos, but I don't think
Mhm.
I put all of my videos on there. I think I started
Mhm.
like at a certain point.
So,
So
like,
yeah.
300? Probably more than that.
Right. Oh, for sure. I've posted 300 because a lot of them are privated.
Mm.
Some of them are deleted.
Mhm.
So there's definitely 300 plus videos on
No
there.
one's hacking you.
Yeah. I said I'm deleting these. I'm in control.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was my first ever YouTube video, get to know me tag, which comes full circle to this,
It
our
does.
first time tag. I
I know.
feel
Crazy.
like I'm
It
living
really
out my
is.
childhood dreams.
Yeah, I can literally imagine Connor in his dorm, like, recording
Mm-hmm.
his version of this, like, I can see it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So, like,
Yeah,
to
YouTube
now
was
for
such a fun
us
time back then.
yeah, for us to be doing it now, it's, like, literally full circle.
Mm-hmm. Look at us, living the dream.
I know.
That's pretty much it for today's episode. It was a
Yes.
nice little chill episode. It was nice to also reminisce on some things.
Mhm. And if you like these types of videos, make sure you comment down below and let us know, and we will continue to do these random old tags because we enjoy making them. So hopefully you enjoy listening to them. And if you've listened all the way through, thank you so much for listening and supporting us always. Make sure to check us out on, again, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, again, comment down below. Tell us what maybe your first channel that you subscribed to was, if you can remember. But
Mhm.
yeah, that is it for today's episode.
Yes. Also, I wanna know what was your first phone?
Yeah, comment those 2 down below.
Thank you guys for listening. We don't know
And
how to
a
end
little
this.
bit
It's
I
been,
know, I'm
like,
like, how do
3
I
weeks.
no, I know exactly what I need to say, but, like, where do I fit it in? And sorry for the spam.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening. Bye.